Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome, you can see me in the mirror, to the One Bitcoin Show. Remember, guys, that's your first goal. Get one Bitcoin, then two, then three, then 10, and so on and so on. Today is, that's why it's called the One Bitcoin Show. I'm trying to explain it early on in the show so you get it, just in case you don't get it yet. Today is July the 18th, 2019. Strong hand, be a unique beast, value your wealth in Bitcoin, having hype. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Offended by selling. 5-digit realm. Come on. You knew it wasn't over. Unless you were a weak hand. All right, you fiat freaks. Hope there are not too many of you there, because you know that Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin, and you've got to value your wealth in Bitcoin when you're hanging with Meister. All right, now you're going to be hanging with Meister at 9:30 a.m. on Friday, East Coast time. We have guests from 3 developing countries, Brazil, the Philippines, and South Africa. It should be quite a unique show. I am proud to bring you the best international guest in the space, the best guest in the space. I give you some wacky combos you don't get anywhere else. You hear about it from an American perspective a lot. I try to bring it from an international perspective. And tomorrow you're going to get Brazil, you're going to get South Africa, and you're going to get the Philippines. And they're going to give you their take on this, all this hype around Libra and what it means to them, because Libra, you probably haven't heard this, but they've tried to market themselves toward the third world type of population. So we'll see. Hey, if you have any questions, type in Bitcoin Meister in the chat if you're watching this live, and I will answer them. Try to make it questions, not statements. I like questions. I really like roll with the punches. I like that. It can be a lot of fun sometimes. And again, follow me on Twitter, TECHBALT. Today, I had a lot to tweet out over Twitter, TechBalt. And so, oh, wow, guys, did you watch my show yesterday? When I was talking about the fiat freaks worried about how the price went down. It wasn't in the 5-digit realm anymore. And it was because of the hearings. And it was so predictable that the speculators would sell the news and try to get the weak hands to sell so they could buy for cheap. And that it wouldn't surprise me at all that once the hearings were over, once it was flushed out of the system, once you took the edema that freaking got all that hearing junk out of your system, that lo and behold, we would be in the 5-digit realm. And then, in fact, it's so funny. I wrote down the topics for this show early this morning, very early this morning. One of the topics was hearings price over $10,000 again. But the weird thing is that I wrote that before the price was over $10,000 again. And then sure enough, what happened later this morning? Woo, woo, like Ric Flair. It went up $1,000. Oh, just magically. Come on. So I think this is one of the few times when you're pretty sure you know why the price went down and why it went back up. It was pretty predictable. Nothing has changed with Bitcoin. Nothing has changed with Libra. Just like before the hearings, we knew what Facebook was trying to do. We knew they'd be able to get away with it eventually. We knew they'd be given a hard time. There'd be virtue signalers and AOCs out. We knew everything that was going to happen. Libra's still going to happen. Bitcoin still doesn't care because Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Doesn't matter what happens to Libra. It's just if Libra comes about sooner, it'll get more people into Bitcoin. So of course, what in terms of the fundamentals of Bitcoin has changed that would bring down the price? Nothing at all. So I mean, this aspect of the fiat price is very, very predictable. A lot of hype that Facebook's about to create their own coins, so Bitcoin goes up, then, nasty hearings, sell, then, it's out of the system, it's forgotten, it goes up magically. That's why you just hold on to it. You don't try to time these things, because you don't know when the next big news is going to break or when the next big hearing is going to be. It's just, you hold on to it, it's a savings plan, it's your savings account, okay? You don't You don't dip into your savings account and sell it and buy it and sell it and buy it and get liquor with it and then hope you can get back into the savings account. No, you don't do that, all right? But again, this was a pretty obvious one right here. And I'm not into the fiat freak side of things, but just wanted to point that out so you know, so you understand, so your hand becomes stronger, so you get used to the patterns. You get used to this cycle of hype and making a big deal out of the government saying something or someone being in front of the government. Pound that like button. Now, I do want to talk a little bit more about, and I'm going to talk about in a second, the glorious ways of holding Bitcoin, and how that there is a 1% among us, among all the people that own Bitcoin and entities that own Bitcoin, there is a 1% who appreciate the freaking crypto dividends. And it's becoming quite apparent. At least 1% of the Bitcoin is controlled by people that care about, that treat it as a savings account and realize that you can't be playing trading games with it, that you should just be collecting your crypto dividend interest. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a second. But first, we must talk more about a tweet from Beautyon, and I thought it was a good one. He says Facebook coin knows that no matter how it complies with the state or how many hoops the state put in front of it to jump through, the power they will gain will be absolutely worth it. 1 billion people in the biggest bank the world has ever seen. And once established, they rule. This is why Marcus, that's the guy from Libra, is offering the state everything but a seat at the table. And they'll offer that too, because the Federal Reserve taking a seat on Libra coin irrevocably diminishes them. It makes them just another supernode, one of many and a de facto minority voice and vote. So that's a very interesting take on this. They will do anything the state, they will jump through any hoop. They'll invite the state to be on their board. First of all, it will minimize the state. It'll make the state subservient to them. So you think that they're being put through the gauntlet and this is hard on them. They'll do everything. They'll do everything and anything. They want to win the race to print their own money and to become the biggest bank the world has ever seen. And you better believe that the other FANG companies will be willing to do it too. They'll sell their freaking souls if they had souls. Maybe they have souls, maybe they don't. I don't know. They don't have souls. They're not people. But the thing is, Amazon, all the rest of them, they wish they had these hearings. They will want to go through the same darn hoops because, again, the first one that gets this wins the race and might be the all-time winner in terms of corporate private money bank printers, corporate money printers / banks. Because this is what they're going for. Obviously, they're not a decentralized cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. But again, I am a big fan of private money. I am a big fan of making countries, making people wake up to the fact that it's not just countries that can print their own money, and and all sorts of entities can be banks. You just don't have to. And again, people don't have to buy in the Facebook coin. Okay. No one is forcing you to do this. No one's forcing you in the Amazon coin or whatever's next. I'm just throwing it all out there that this is a race. This is a race for a lot of influence and power. And of course, they're willing to do all sorts of songs and dances to make it to win this race. I mean, they will lick the boots of AOC. They will do anything because in the long run, she'll be licking their boots. Well, anyway, and not just that. On their bodies. But so moving on. Let's see. I wanted to say something else about the FANGs. Anyway, enough that. Bobby in my chat, in my comment section said yesterday, and this is a good point. I think in the long run, Libra will be allowed to go forward. Yes, that's obvious. They're playing the right card, which is if you don't let an American company do this, someone else who doesn't share our values will do this. obviously hinting at Chinese companies. And once Libra goes live, I think most altcoins will start to disappear. Libra and Bitcoin together suck out most of the oxygen in the crypto space. Dude, you've got a very interesting take on that. Of course, Libra is very much willing to lick the boots of AOC, but they do want to have some leverage also, and throwing it out there like, well, if you don't let us do this, there's going to be some Chinese companies that do this, and you'd probably rather have us do this because, of course, we will contribute to all your political accounts in the future, and the Chinese won't. So, yeah, they definitely have some leverage, even though they're trying to be as nice and subservient as possible for now. And your point is very interesting. Altcoin, and I said this again yesterday, that once these corporate coins get into the onto CoinMarketCap, it's going to be the altcoins that are going to get hurt, the second tier and the third tier altcoins. Because again, I don't understand the 80%er mentality, but the 80%ers who get into Bitcoin, into cryptocurrency, they see CoinMarketCap and they think like, well, I have to buy the top 20. I have to diversify for the sake of diversification. So they are of the mindset where they fall for anything. They see an advertisement, they must buy. So they will feel like they have to buy Facebook coin. But no one has to buy Facebook coin. But there is a minority of people out there it can't be all 80%ers, but there is a substantial group of people out there. They see something listed on CoinMarketCap, they have to buy it. And then if it fails, they feel the right, like, oh, I have to sue them. They tricked me. They didn't trick you. You're dumb. You're not that smart in terms of you fall for a lot of stuff. Maybe you're not dumb. You're gullible. You're gullible if you feel like you need to buy a coin just because it's listed on the top 20 of CoinMarketCap, and then you feel the need to sue them because of your own mistakes. Take personal responsibility. It's the new counterculture. Okay, so let us talk. Yesterday I said I didn't want to talk about the MWC airdrop today anymore because I wanted to get as much MWC as possible. But I have to talk about it. I was going to wait till Sunday to talk about it again, but I mean, it's just amazing what's going on here. The amount of Bitcoin that has been registered for the MWC airdrop, which again is just getting a crypto. It's just rewarding holders, and I love that Bitcoin holders are being rewarded for holding. They're getting interest. They're getting crypto dividends on their Bitcoin. 144,485 Bitcoin have been registered. That is 0.85% of all of Bitcoin out there. And it looks like they could get as high as 1% of all. I mean, if 170-some thousand get registered, I mean, there has been a surge in the last 2 days. Or last 3 days, it's gone from like 50,000 to 144,000. It's gone up like 100,000 Bitcoin registrations in the last 3 or 4 days. It's unbelievable. And I'm happy that, so if we get to that 1% mark, and we're very close now, 0.85% of all Bitcoin out there has been registered for this airdrop, that the holders of almost 1% of all the Bitcoin out there, these people have the brains and the long-term thinking, and they've somehow heard of crypto dividends and MWC to know that this game is all up. This game is not rigged. You have to be proactive. And if you are, you can get interest on your Bitcoin. So, of course, the more people who register, the less amount of MWC that we're going to get. But there is a network effect. There is a hype effect. I mean, I will be praising. And once we are holders of this thing, okay, we want it to do as well as possible because we want it to be worth as much Bitcoin as possible because we value our wealth in Bitcoin. We're getting it for free. All these other freaks out there are going to be paying for it. God Almighty, Hashem, may this be the best Wimble coin out there. May it kick the butts of Beam and Grin. May everyone be talking about it very soon after the registration closes, preferably. So, I mean, yeah, we're going to get less than like 50 per Bitcoin that we register now. But whatever, maybe it'll be worth $5 per MWC. I don't know. Maybe it'll be worth $10. Maybe we can make all sorts of crazy predictions so people pump it up to all sorts of levels so that we can get a lot of Bitcoin for the free MWC crypto dividend that we signed up for. And again, you could troll and stuff and say it's this, it's that, and it's the other. But dudes, there is somebody out there that has 15,000 freaking Bitcoin who registered for this. Yes, there is some entity out there that has 15,000 Bitcoin that registered for this. Okay, so maybe they're an exchange. Maybe, I mean, this has some pretty big implications. All right, we will see what this means in the future. Did an exchange just register all the Bitcoin that they have, and now they're going to sell all this MWC? Is there some super duper rich person out there? I mean, when you're talking 15,000 Bitcoin, King of the Trolls supposedly only had, not only, but had 30,000, okay? The Winkleveyes were rumored to have 160,000. So 15,000 is a huge amount, it's a tremendous amount of Bitcoin that some entity registered for they're gonna get a lot of MWC. So that is a really interesting, so again, you could be trolly and say, oh, it's this, it's a scam, it's that, but there's something out there that had some real long-term thinking at one point and has access to 15,000 Bitcoin that thinks a little bit differently than you do. So, I mean, whatever. Personal responsibility is a new counterculture. We shall see how this, what happens with this. It is exciting. And yeah, that's 15,000. And again, if the rich are getting richer, then good for the rich. We're all, first of all, if you're a Bitcoin holder, you are rich. So good. And if you register for this, you're getting richer. And there is nothing wrong with the rich getting richer. It is glorious when the rich get richer. Okay, nothing wrong at all. If you think that I mean, it's a saying that conjures up envy amongst envious people. But no, what's wrong with the rich getting richer? You should be getting richer too. Are you just complaining there, shouting names in MWC, or are you getting richer? I mean, the people who shout names are going to shout names in MWC. They're going to shout names at the rich. The rich aren't going to shout names. They're going to do. They're going to be in motion. They're going to get richer. 15,000 Bitcoin, some dude or entity registered. So good. I'm glad I'm getting richer because of this. I'm glad the people who get the insider freaking information on this freaking channel are getting richer because of this. I'm really happy about that, because this is home of Bitcoiner insider information, okay? And if there was ever a time you had doubt about it, this is not that time. This is a time when you are totally reaffirmed of that conviction, all right? Because this is the home of conviction, this is the home of strong hands, and this is a reason you learn here why you don't do ridiculous gambling things with your Bitcoin. You don't lend it out to people who promise you interest. Eventually we're going to do a comparison between what those third-party sites that hold your Bitcoin for you that supposedly give you interest, what that interest rate is compared to what the interest rate you got on MWC and these other crypto dividends that have been out there, be it Rhodium, be it whatever, okay? So again, you don't have to watch. If you don't want insider information, go watch some bikini babes and stuff, and pretend like you value your wealth in women, because we value our wealth in Bitcoin here. Okay, pound that like button. No, first of all, let me check if there were any questions here. Oh God, there were a couple. Hang on. Oh God. Hey, where did the other Bitcoin Meister go? There were two earlier. There were? I don't know. How were there two earlier? Was a relative of mine around? Okay, I like it when your videos go live. It's like we're having a meeting. Russ Spear said, how do you think other countries will respond to U.S. policymakers' love of Bitcoin? They will, most of them will follow lockstep with the United States. They will do whatever the United States does. I think they'll be more trustworthy of it if the United States continues to give out this aura of like, okay, Bitcoin's all right, we're going to try to lay the smackdown on Facebook. The other countries will just mimic what the United States does. Most will. So, all right, here. I learned of MWC airdrop from Bitcoin Meister. Thanks. Well, you're welcome, Steelhorse 2004. Ricky Chapman says, hodled 10 Bitcoin since 2013. So disappointed, didn't have more conviction. Do you think 10 Bitcoin will still buy me my freedom in the future? Yeah, dude. It already, yeah. Yes, I've been saying that 10 for a while. I mean, Ricky, man, there are people out there that are saying to me, Adam, I only have 0.1 Bitcoin. What shall I do? So Ricky, you have like 100 times the amount of people who are complaining and stuff. So I think that's good. You're in good shape, and you can still get more, dude, with the crypto dividends, and you can still buy more. You don't know what's going to happen, but I think if you have 10 Bitcoin, you're going to be in. You're going to be able to alter your future in a way where you'll have some more freedom, and especially if you're able to save and not do anything ridiculous and have long-term thinking. You got a good combo if you've got 10 Bitcoin and long-term thinking, and you control your own private key and are collecting your crypto dividends. All right. Let's see. Making sure there's audio video tweaker said there was one in the mirror behind you. Oh, there you go, man. Yep, you're right. I see what you're talking about. Donald J. Trump said, I will deport the Bitcoin Meister. Well, you can do that if you wish to, Donald. I mean, if you find me a threat to the state, I guess you got to do what you got to do. I will. If you do deport me, though, the cool thing is I still get to keep all my Bitcoin. That's awesome. So whatever. I'm not complaining. I'll start a new life, maybe here in Israel, wherever, South America. I've traveled the whole world, Donald Trump. And so I'm familiar with different places. I have all sorts of different backup plans. I mean, again, when you have Bitcoin, you can just start over again. I won't be a refugee or anything like that. So yeah, you can kick me out if you want, I guess. All right. Russell Spears sent $20. He says, thank you, Russell, by the way. That's very generous of you. The congressional hearing is going to be closely watched by the world. It should change their position on Bitcoin in a positive way. Yeah, I think it will. I think it will. Again, it's a little mindless of people just to blindly follow what the congressional hearing, the tone that was set there. But most people are mindless, and most other countries are mindless. And it was a big hearing. It'll definitely set the tone for some people. So, hey, it is. I mean, I interpret it all positively, and that's why I laugh when it went down $1,000 because it was going on, and I knew it would, go back up. I mean, there was nothing fundamentally changed with Bitcoin, and it overall seemed to be a pretty positive event. And Facebook Coin is nothing is going to stop them from becoming the biggest bank in the history of mankind. Nothing is going to stop them. So that's just, and there were some members of Congress that were very open-minded toward cryptocurrency. That there was a little bit of surprise there for some of the things that were said. Walter said, sound money is good. Yes, it is. But most people don't realize that. So most people will continue to worship the dollar and the welfare dollar, collect their welfare checks, buy unnecessary things, and just keep the cycle going. We don't have to be in that cycle, though. We can be with the real money, the hard money, Bitcoin. Pound that like button. And so, I also want to say Barry Silbert has he's got about 170,000 Bitcoin. So Chris of MWC suggested that Barry Silbert register for the airdrop. And I retweeted that. I linked to it below. It says retweet Silbert. Retweet it. Get his attention. It'll be funny. And that's the difference between. But there's a lot of different sectors of the crypto world. There are people who think they own Bitcoin when Barry Silbert owns their Bitcoin, when they buy into GBTC. They think they own it. They're not getting MWC unless Barry Silbert does something at the last second and decides to register them, okay? But if you really control, then they're the people who want to control their own destiny, who don't want Barry Silbert to control their destiny, who don't care about 401ks and Barry Silbert. They want to collect it. They want to learn how to do this correctly. There's a little bit of a learning curve here. You got to learn how to get how to store it on a Trezor, and then how to collect and how to sign a message, and how to register for a crypto dividend airdrop, or how to collect safely that that crypto dividend fork. But again, we got lots of and I cater to the people who want to learn, who want to do it themselves, who want to be entrepreneurs in terms of their Bitcoin, okay? They don't want to work for another Bitcoin business. They don't want somebody else to hold their Bitcoin. They want to create their own Bitcoin realm where they control their Bitcoin's destiny, okay? They don't let Barry Silbert control their Bitcoin destiny. God forbid they let Coinbase control their Bitcoin destiny. God forbid they let one of these supposedly trusted companies that advertise on some people's podcasts, apparently, that, you give them your Bitcoin and they give you 2% interest. I mean, ridiculous how anyone can say, that they're I'm a huge Bitcoin guy, and then take money from companies that say, give me your Bitcoin, I'll probably give you interest, I probably won't lose your Bitcoin. I mean, again, that's personal responsibility as a new counterculture. You can make your own judgments, on who people take money from, who they don't take money from. But I mean, it's when I hear that, I mean, people are legitimizing these companies that give you interest on your Bitcoin when they're holding your Bitcoin, when it's not your Bitcoin anymore, and they can just run around your Bitcoin. That's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Well, they're so trusted. They're funded by blah, 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 and they advertise here, blah, blah, blah. Again, you can get interest in your Bitcoin just by controlling your own private key and signing up for this MWC thing or any of the other multiple crypto dividends that are coming in the future. People are telling, again, I mentioned it on the show before. I have been told by someone of at least 2 others that are coming down the pipe eventually. This isn't going away. There's going to be ways to get interest on your Bitcoin by controlling your own Bitcoin, for the foreseeable future. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's a unique way to distribute altcoins, the crypto dividend process. Again, some of you say, well, nobody else talks about these crypto dividends. Well, because most people out there just want to get clicks on they want fancy sets and graphics. They're YouTubers. They're not Bitcoiners. I'm a Bitcoiner, okay? I'm trying to get more Bitcoin. I'm not trying to get more people watching the darn show. I'm not trying to get more clicks. I'm not trying to impress some girl and say, hey, dude, look how big my channel is, and look how big my is. And she still won't go with you to either. No matter. Again, I value my wealth in Bitcoin. Others value their wealth in those type of things, superficial things like that. So again, you choose the place where you learn about stuff. But I think more people will be talking about the MWC thing soon enough, but it'll be too late. You won't be able to get it for free anymore. All right, and you'll never be able to get that woman for free. I assure you of that. Pound that like button. Now, okay, so we talked about Silbert, 65, and here is so Bloomberg. Oh, so the guy. So I know a lot of you get your news from Bloomberg, right? Well, there are a lot of 80%ers that get their news from Bloomberg. So for the last 5 years. For the last 5 years, they've been like, oh, blockchain, not Bitcoin. I better dive. Some people are like, well, that's too complicated for me. I don't want to get into this Bitcoin thing because they're screaming about blockchain. What the heck is that? And then the other thing is, then there were some people that were like, well, blockchain, not Bitcoin. I better buy into these ICOs. I better buy into these projects because these mainstream people like Bloomberg are saying it's blockchain, not Bitcoin. So, but today, oh, look, Bloomberg changed their mind. They claim, this is the title, Smart Money, quote unquote, said skip Bitcoin, bet on blockchain. Not anymore. Venture funding in blockchain startups may tumble 60% in 2019. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's price has more than doubled this year. So yes, mainstream authorities, where you get your validation from, where the 80%ers get their validation from, ABC News, Bloomberg, CNN, the smart money has been saying blockchain for quite some time. I think they've been saying that since the Bitcoin price crashed from 1,000 to about 500. And then as it got down to 200 in 2014 and 2015, they were shouting it even more. But that's kind of funny. The so-called smart money was saying that, but there was some guy named Adam Meister, and it's linked to below, and I've linked to it before. In June 7th, 2015, I made a video in which I said the blockchain, not Bitcoin thing was a complete joke. Yeah, that's exactly what I said on June the 7th, 2015, and you can watch the video below, that blockchain, not Bitcoin, was a complete joke. And guess who's laughing now? Anyway, but you guys, if you're familiar with the channel, you know the story. All right. But retweet that one. That was a funny one. And it's quite appropriate now that, Bloomberg saying, well, the smart money was saying that it was blockchain, not Bitcoin all along. Depends on what you consider smart, okay? Guess there's a lot of interpretations of what smart is out there. All right. Now, pound that like button. Your show is pumping today. Bullish, says audio video tweaker. Dude, oh, good. I'm glad it's pumping. Pump. Watch it. Spread the word. Follow me on Twitter, TECHBALT. And just the most important thing to take away from this, have a strong hand and know what the Bitcoin halving in 2020 is. I mean, again, does Bloomberg even know what a halving is? Now, don't worry, Bloomberg will be writing about the halving soon enough because they did write. They wrote about it leading up to the 2016 halving. They'll be waking up all the no-coiners to the fact that, the new supply of Bitcoin gets cut in half every 4 years. but most people seem to forget that or never knew that. We've known that all along. Pounded. All right. So we talked about that flashback. Johnny Turbo left this comment. I think he left this in the chat yesterday. I found that he says, that's what this industry is, holding up washouts from other industry as kings because they acknowledge crypto. So what he's referring to is that in the larger cryptocurrency space, we have all sorts of people that have come in from gold, from silver, from software, from doom and gloom, from Shemitah, from drugs, from all sorts of things. And because that they were known in other fields, and even though that they were saying the same wrong things over and over and over again, and the same ridiculous things over, and predicting the end of the world over and over and over again in these other sectors of industry, just because they come to cryptocurrency and acknowledge it, they're worshipped. Yeah, so there is an inferiority complex in the larger cryptocurrency space. There truly is. Because the larger cryptocurrency space is made up of a lot of 80%ers. There's no doubt about it, that need validation. They need validation so much that if a guy who was hiding in Belize, who probably murdered someone because they killed his dog, because he killed a person over an animal, probably, most likely, if he comes and starts making ICO predictions, he is worshipped. Again, so yes, there is inferiority complex in this space. You guys, if you have an inferiority complex, just try to get away from the diversification need. Try to get away from that. You don't need the validation from superstars of lunacy. Okay, you don't need it from the validation from guys who says that silver is buried at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, or whatever ridiculous thing, or the world is going to end around Rosh Hashanah 2016, and it's going to be called the Shemitah, and everything's going to be changed after that. You don't need those type of validation. Again, if you need that, you clearly do have some sort of inferiority complex, and that is rot. That rot is part of the cryptocurrency space, and it seems to really show itself when things start to get good, when the altcoins start to pump. Maybe that's how I should say it. Because Bitcoin's been pumping lately, and those voices haven't been amplified as they were last time when all the altcoins were being pumped. Also, so again, be prepared, all you strong-handers. Be aware of the total cryptocurrency space. There are some people out there who just need some sort of. They feel like someone comes from another space, that they had a name in another space, and now they're automatically an expert in cryptocurrency. And if that person ever says anything good about your ICO or your altcoin, they must be truthful and they must be right. And thus, I must get that lunacy, that lunatic ICO or crypto or altcoin. All right, pound that like button. I just wanted to say, you heard some sirens out there. In Tel Aviv, this time of year, there are so many tourists out there. It is beautiful. I mean, if you value your wealth in women, you probably would enjoy walking around the streets of Tel Aviv. I'm not gonna lie. There's some good sights out there. Oh my, but you can walk around anywhere. You hear people talking English everywhere. I mean, there's so many tourists from the United States, from Spanish-speaking countries. It is so alive out in the. I can go out there at 2, 3 in the morning, and there are people still out there walking around. People at cafes. It's a beautiful scene. It is a beautiful scene. And maybe some of you will one day visit here. I know some of you have already been here before. And again, some of you, isn't it religious? It's a Jewish state. Tel Aviv is like the most secular city you're ever going to see. Okay, it's difficult to really tell you're in a Jewish state when you're in Tel Aviv. People are partying at 3 in the morning. It's not 3 in the morning here yet. It's 11:30 at night. But as I said, 3 in the morning. On a Wednesday night, there are people, and again, the weekend here starts on Thursday, so there are people. There will be people partying quite late tonight, and it's amazing. It's really a tourist city, and I guess I hadn't been here for a long period of time during this part of the summer before. I was obviously, you guys knew I was here at the beginning of the year, but it was winter, and it was not the same. There are more things that are open. It's wild and wacky stuff out there, and I just wanted to add that. All right, so, and then finally, I guess we were talking about the Jewish state of Israel. Let's talk about the Bitcoin Rebbe. This is the end of the show, by the way, people. He has a big announcement. based on last week's this week's congressional hearings, it's clear that the lawmakers in Washington need a lot more education about Bitcoin. That's why I'm launching Bitcoin for Congress. So if you send him $8, and he's in motion. This is. I don't know if this is going to change many congressional people's opinion of Bitcoin, and I don't know if it really matters that much if their opinions get changed. But if you send him $8, he will send his Bitcoin book to a member of Congress of your choosing, whether it be whoever represents you in Congress, or maybe you're a foreign person and you just want to send AOC a book or something like that. So he's in motion. I don't think it'll make that big of a difference, but hey, he's spreading the word about his book. He does have a solid book. It's for kids, but it's for grown-ups also. I've shown it on the show before. He sent me a copy of it. Check the archives, disruptmeister.com. All right, everybody. UK Bitcoin Master says cheers. I say cheers also because it's definitely the end of the show. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share this video, check out the links below. Pound that like button, bang that bell button, click on the squares. I will say hi to all of you in the chat. And remember, 9:30 a.m. on Friday, that's East Coast time, 2:30 in London, 3:30 in Spain, and 4:30 in Israel is the This Week in Bitcoin show with guests from Brazil, South Africa, and the Philippines. See you tomorrow. Bye.